Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Halton Hills Housing Update. So I'm going to talk about April's numbers this week as well as what's happening in the market. So let's dive in. Looking at April's numbers, last April our average price was $1,054,000. This year we are up over 9% to $1.153 million. So our average price is up almost $100,000, and I guess that's no big surprise. We saw almost half of the properties that sold last month over $1 million, and 6 of those over $2 million. So that is going to pull our average price point up. When we look at units sold, we sold 82 units, and last year we sold 87. So we're almost on par there, and 82 units is a high month for us. I mean, in our slower months, we can sell 40 units. So to have 82, I think, is showing that there's a good amount of buyers out there and the market is moving well. And good news about the pricing. What will be interesting to watch is to see if that continues through May, because we know that our inventory went on the rise through April. So we'll be watching that. Another interesting thing is our average price is up since March. It's not up significantly. We were at 1122. And now we're at 1153. So it's not up significantly, but it is on the rise. So that is, again, something we're going to be watching to see if our inventory levels are going to start to negatively impact that average price. Overall, a very healthy April. Looking at what happened last week, so it's almost the exact same story as the week prior in terms of Georgetown. So Georgetown last week had 12 sales, good number, had 22 new listings. It's a lot of new listings. Our inventory is continuing to rise. So numbers are showing good amount of sales, but also a lot of properties hitting the market. And then in Acton this week, we had 5 sales. So good amount of sales in Acton, but there was 7 new listings. So Acton is really feeling the inventory crunch here. Like, there is a lot of properties there. And so 7 new ones is a lot. Glen Williams this week had 1 sale and 1 new listing, so balance there. Nothing happened in Limehouse, no sales, no new listings. The rural market had 2 sales and 7 new listings, so also bad news. Acton in the rural market had the highest inventories I've ever seen in those markets right now, and so that is going to negatively impact prices there. And again, with the properties we're looking at that are terminated, expired, and suspended, we had 18 of them this week. 10 of them came off the market completely. So that is helping to keep our inventory at bay a little bit, people that are exiting the market. But 10 properties coming off is showing that not every seller, is getting the results that they're looking for. Also, of those 18, 7 of them reduce their price. So we are seeing price reductions. So buyers have some leverage in this market, and some properties are flying off the shelf, but other properties are taking a little bit longer and also not getting the results that they're hoping for. So keeping a close eye on that, because when our market is super, super strong, we see very little movement in terms of terminated and expireds because properties are just selling. So to have the high numbers still happening week to week in that segment of the market is just an indicator that things aren't like crazy hot. Looking at our inventory, active inventory is so close to 200. We are at 198 active listings. This is a reminder, I pull out all of our new builds. So technically, if you looked up like new listings, like available listings, it would be higher than the 198. I pull out farms, I pull out vacant land, and I pull out any new builds. I like to look at the resale market. I think it's a truer indicator of our stats. And so the 198 is active resale properties. Very close to 200. Once we hit 200, we're certainly in the saturated market. We are right now, but like just that 200 mark is sort of where we really start to feel things negatively impacted with how much inventory we have. Looking at Georgetown, so we are at 104 active listings from 98. So that is not a crazy number given how high our overall market is. Last time we were around 200, Georgetown was sitting in the 130 range. So to be only at 104, Georgetown is showing that the market's still moving here and we're not super saturated the way that we are in, let's say, Acton in the rural market. Looking at our price points, under 800,000 is up from 11 to 13, lots of condo townhomes available this week. 800 to a million is up from 14 to 19, so we're starting to see a lot more stuff available in that pocket, and that is our busy pocket. If that starts to slow down or we start to get saturated there, it impacts the whole market. 1 to 1.5 million is down actually this week because we saw quite a few sales over a million last week. 38, we're at 38 last week, we're down to 32 this week. So we saw a dramatic, I would say dramatic drop given what's happening. So that price point is weirdly moving very well. 1 to 1.5 million is moving very well, and you know, that's usually the price point we start to see slow down when inventory starts to rise. So we'll be watching that. 1.5 million plus is now up from 36 to 40 active listings. That's a huge amount of listings over 1.5 million. I know that the market is moving. I know that over a million is moving. And we did see quite a few properties in April move over 1.5 million, but that is a huge amount of inventory to combat with in terms of pricing. Like, you just are gonna have to be aggressively priced. There's still not a ton of 2 million plus buyers, so 1.5 million is still gonna be a very tricky price point to move a property in right now. Looking at Acton, Acton is up from 32 to 35 active listings. This is so many listings in Acton. Like, for the small town that it is, 35 listings in comparison to when we are busy, you know, and it's between like 10 and 18 properties. 35 is huge. We are seeing some movement there because there's lower price point properties, but 35 is a very high number for Acton. That is gonna, I think, inevitably negatively impact the pricing there. Glen Williams remained the same at 8 this week. Limehouse remained the same at 2, and the rural market is up to 47 listings. I've never seen this many properties available in the rural market. Again, they are the higher price point things. Very few properties under 2 million in the rural market. So just a large amount of properties available in the rural market. And until we start to feel a pinch in Georgetown and inventory, rural usually slows down. So I can't see that being too hot of a spot for sellers, and it's definitely a place that we see a lot of properties come off the market, a lot of price reductions and things like that. So that was a lot to cover this week. That's sort of what's happening. April was a really good month, really strong in terms of the amount of sales in comparison to where we've come from over the last 6 to 8 months. Like 82 units to move that is a dramatic jump, and it's just showing that our market is busier. In terms of pricing, also up over 1.15 million now. And so we are still a far cry from, you know, 2 years ago, we were at over $1.4 million. So we are still very far from that, but we are climbing. We did get into the 900s multiple months last year in terms of our average price. So this is good news overall for sellers. It also feels like stable and not crazy. It feels like a natural progression in our pricing. So if we see an interest rate drop coming up here, it will be interesting to see if that can sort of counteract the saturation of inventory we're feeling. But we'll see what happens in May. I think we're still gonna have a strong month. It feels very busy out there. The biggest thing is just gonna be our inventory levels. They're kind of getting to the point where we would normally start to feel the market cool down and the pricing cool down. So we'll be watching for that. I'll be back next week. Have a great week, everyone.